Hi everyone, this is Dave and welcome to a new video on the Geekanoids channel. In today's video I want to talk to you about different audio options, microphones and recording devices that can help you improve the audio that accompanies the videos that you produce. Now at the moment I'm recording on a Panasonic GX8. This is a micro four thirds camera. It offers up interchangeable lenses and it also has a microphone input. Now this is the ideal situation if you can actually plug in or add a microphone to your camera. And at the moment I've got a little lapel microphone attached to my shirt. Now normally I would hide the wire inside my shirt and have the lapel mic just clipped up here. But I wanted you to visibly see what this microphone looks like. If I just unpin it from my shirt, you can see it's a tiny little microphone and I've got this cable running all the way from the mic into the camera. And this is probably what I use around about sort of 40 or 50% of the time that I'm actually recording videos. Let me just clip this back to my shirt. There is another option which is a little bit tidier, and that consists of two different parts, and this is the Sennheiser AVX ME2. This is the receiver, so this would actually go on top of your camera and this would plug into the microphone input. You turn this on and then this wirelessly connects to what we call a body pack or a transmitter, and plugged into this transmitter is a little tiny lapel microphone very similar to the one I'm wearing now. These two parts communicate with each other and it allows you to move around freely without having to be tethered by a wire to your camera's microphone input. So now I want to show you a different type of microphone you can use with your camera, and that's a shotgun microphone. I've got a couple here. They're both from Rode. We've got a little mini Rode microphone here that attaches to the hot shoe on your camera, and then it plugs into the 3.5mm audio jack by this little cable here. The more professional version actually has power in it. This is the Rode VideoMic Pro, and this has a battery that you install in the front. You turn the microphone on the back and you can set various levels on the microphone itself. This allows you to reduce the audio levels in your camera. Plug in the same way with the 3.5mm audio jack, and it should sound something like this. So now the audio you're hearing is coming from the Rode VideoMic Pro, and it does again sound much better than the internal microphones on any camera. And it allows you to move freely around because I haven't got a lapel mic on me, so I can stand up, move around the frame, walk around. You have to be a little bit careful because if I walk right behind the camera, the audio does change. This type of microphone that you're hearing now is directional, so you have to take that into account when you're actually deciding what type of mic to use for the video that you're recording. Now, all of the recommendations I've made so far rely on your camera having an audio input or a microphone input, and this normally takes the form of a 2.5mm input like on my Panasonic GX8, or indeed a more commonly found 3.5mm microphone input. But what happens if your camera hasn't got this mic input? Something like this. This is the really popular Canon PowerShot G7X Mark II, and many compact cameras and bridge cameras which are slightly larger than this, and even some more professional cameras don't have a mic input. That restricts you to using the built-in microphones. So now I'm recording with the Canon PowerShot G7X Mark II. Now thankfully this camera does have pretty decent built-in microphones, but what happens if you want to improve the audio even further? Or perhaps you want to use a couple of cameras and have consistent audio across different video angles. Well, there is a really easy solution to this, and this takes the form of an external audio recorder. The one I've got here is the Zoom H4n Pro. This is a really amazing featured audio recorder. It records very high bitrate audio from the built-in capsule microphones. It also has the added benefit of being able to add external XLR microphones, and it has a lot more features besides. Now, the flexibility of something like this is that I could mount this on top of another camera. I could use a little adapter like this. This screws into the bottom because this has a threaded mount on here, and then you could mount this on top of a camera. Or in the case of the Canon PowerShot G7X Mark II, which hasn't got a hot shoe mount, you could mount this on a separate tripod next to the camera, or indeed you could just hand hold it and talk into it, or hold it just out of shot so that nobody could see that you were using an external recorder. And then when you go to edit your videos, you place the video on one part of your timeline, the audio on a second layer of the timeline, and you synchronize the two. So let's switch over to the audio from the Zoom H4n Pro. So now the audio you're hearing is being recorded from the Zoom H4n Pro. And the beauty of using something like this is that you could use the same audio across multiple different cameras. Perhaps you record part of your video on a little tiny GoPro and another part of your video on something like the Canon PowerShot G7X Mark II, and perhaps you record some more video on something like the original camera I was using, the Panasonic GX8. Or perhaps have a multitude of all different cameras and you just want to have consistent audio across all of your videos. What something like the Zoom H4n Pro allows you to do is really step up your audio to another level. It produces very clean and crisp audio. You can adjust the levels. You can even add in those external microphones if you want to at a later date. I think this is a really good option for adding clear and much better audio to your videos. People come along to watch your video and they're often really put off if it doesn't sound that great. So I hope you've enjoyed a look at all of these different options. Let me know what you thought of them in the comments section below. I'll leave links to all of the products that you've seen, and I'll see you again soon in another video on the Geekanoids channel.